Let's move on to Brexit. There are a lot of questions, obviously, there. I think in September you said you were hoping that cooler heads would prevail, but now that we're going to get the negotiations about to start, financial services is a big issue. Do you think this can be or will be acrimonious negotiations to start? I mean, divorces are never pretty.
Never pretty, of course, depends on the two partners, or ex-partners. Right now, again, a lot of uncertainty, clearly a lot of uncertainty toward the referendum, and then came out the way it did. But now, elections in Great Britain on Thursday, and still uncertainty there, what is exactly the outcome is going to be. And so we have to see the outcome of that election, and before really negotiations start in earnest, we have to wait for the German election as well.
Right.
But then...
you have Italian elections before May of next year too, right?
Yeah, maybe even earlier. Now, as you may know, they are discussing now the change of electoral law, so election can come up as early as September or October this year, so maybe even somehow synchronized with the German ones. But going back to Brexit, I think the subject matter is very, very delicate, and I think that it's very hard to see a very peaceful kind of outcome. And I think that there are major principles at stake. On the one hand, we know Great Britain and the issue of migration and the control of their own border is very important to them, but at the same time it's very important the issue of freedom of movement, not only of commodity and trade, but also people on the European side. So how do you square that right now in an agreeable manner is not obvious at all.
How much of your time is spent in JPMorgan considering contingencies for headcount across the continent if they has to move from London?
Of course, we spend a lot of time more than about headcounts, about the strategy, and which is very simple. By 2019, March 2019, when this divorce will take place, we have to be fully ready to service our clients everywhere without any sense of disruption. So have to be a seamless kind of transition. And in order to do that, of course, we have to prepare now.
Now, can we avoid this cliff edge for the banks? I mean, also, London has built up a long reputation over years with financial services. The continent could suffer too, though, if London loses that edge. Wouldn't you agree? Don't they benefit also from London being a strong financial center?
Well, I always said so, that London is not being created in a day. It took decades, if not a century, to create such an environment. It's a very complex environment, and to reproduce it somewhere else is not going to be easy. So if London loses sort of its own specific weight in the globe, also Europe will lose. Now, of course, decision and cliff edges, has to be avoided. But I think the best way to avoid it is on each firm, what each firm will do to be ready and prepared.
I want to quickly get to Italy as well, because after JPMorgan helped lead a private attempt to rescue this bank, we now have the EU giving approval for sale. What's the prospects of a revamp of Monte Paschi, and what is the effect over the old Italian banking system?
Well, I think it's very important, and Monte dei Paschi somehow represents, the problems that the Italian banking system has, which is non-performing loans. And as you said, we had tried last December to have a private solution. That was not possible. There was, quote-unquote, the political events like the referendum didn't go the right way as for the market, as far as the market were concerned. So now this agreement with Europe is very important, because open up and clarify how the public money can be injected, because that was the old problem, that the rules in the Europe has changed as far as public money being injected in banks, and now that has been made possible. So I think that now Monte dei Paschi has a good chance to be back into market, fairly soon.